Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you an incredibly ambitious MMORPG called Forsaken Legends. This game's really early in development at the moment, but from what I've heard about it so far, I'm really excited to see what this game turns out like. Obviously, as this game's so early in development, I'm not going to cover it the same way I normally would in a first impressions with a game that's more close to being finished, because this game's a long way off yet. Instead, what I'm going to do is talk about the game's features, show you what it's already got and what it's planning on adding, and give my feedback at the end of the video. So the main thing that has me excited about this game is it's going to be a procedurally generated sandbox MMORPG, which essentially means you can just keep traveling in one direction and the world will just be infinite essentially. The game just creates more worlds, similar to how Minecraft works. And I think that's a really cool idea in an MMO, especially if they manage to incentivize exploration. Another thing I've been told is they're also planning on having procedurally generated dungeons, so as you go out and explore more world and more world is generated, sometimes dungeons will appear and they're going to be different every time apparently. So I think that's a really cool concept and I really hope they pull it off. As you can probably tell, it's a pretty good looking game for an MMO. I'm pretty sure it was made in Unity 3 or something. And I like that they've gone for like a mix between realistic and stylized graphics. I think it's right in the middle. It's a good balance, I think. Another really big feature this game's going to have is a fully fleshed out building system. The idea is, as a player, you claim a plot of land and you just build whatever you want on it. I think guilds can claim really big plots of land and basically build their own town or castles. Currently, they've got a little bit of the building system in place. Basically, you hit the build mode button, you go into first person, then you press a hotkey, and each of the hotkeys give you a different building piece. Currently, the in-game building system's quite basic, but it's still enough to build some structures. Let's try and build a house next to whatever this person's tried to build. So we go in first person mode. As you can see, the blocks just kind of snap to where you want to put them. We need to put some beams up so we can have a roof and some walls and stuff. Currently, the place mode's a little bit clunky. Something they could probably work on. It's hard to get it in the right position. It's a bit of a struggle to place these beams on the edge. There we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now we're doing it. Come on. One more. Place. Place. There we go. So now I've got the beams in place. Just slap some walls on it. Got a door. Put the door on. Now we need a roof, don't we? Ah, here we go. This is what we want. Is it going to work? Can we actually walk up it? Yes. Pop the roof on. Just make a staircase. There we go. As you can see, it's quite easy to build things in this game. It's just a little bit awkward getting things to snap into place at times. You can also build on top of the roof, so I don't really think there's any limit to how high you can actually build in this game. Let's add another layer to this house, shall we? Higher. Must build higher. I'm literally just going to keep building. Let's see how high we can go. Let's make a fucking tower, shall we? Let's make a home that Mum would be proud of. Oh no! Fuck. I wonder what happens if you delete the beams. Okay, you can delete the beams and then that still stands. Ah, fuck, it's starting to get dark. Can't really see what's going on right now. Let's change the time of day. There we go. There we go. Oh, what an awesome house. Fuck. So this is my house so far. It's incredibly pointless. I was planning on building like a stairway into the clouds, but then I realized how long that would probably take. Now we've got a wall that even Donald Trump would be proud of. Ain't no Mexicans coming into my house taking my jobs. I think the plan is when the game launches is for players to form guilds and go off and build their own towns and settlements. And then they have to defend those towns and settlements against monsters that will then try and attack and break the towns. I think if you don't defend your town for a certain amount of time, they'll just get overrun and it won't be there anymore. That's the plan anyway. Whether or not they can pull it off is another thing, but it's a really cool idea and I hope they're successful in doing it. I don't think they've got the weather effects implemented yet, but by the looks of it, they're planning on having mist, rain, storms, sunny, cloudy, snow, hail, and a few other things. So now let's have a look at the combat and class system. In this game, you don't need alts. You can basically switch between abilities from various classes. You can pick some archer abilities, fighter abilities, healer, rogue, tank, technician, and wizard. So the game does have the holy trinity. You've got tank, healer, and melee DPS as well as range DPS. But you're not forced to just have abilities from one of those classes. You can pick a bunch. And that is going to be in the live game, apparently. They don't want people to feel the need to have multiple characters. They want everyone to be able to do everything on one character, which I think is a really cool idea. So right now, as it's in alpha, I can just learn all of the abilities and then drag them onto my hotbar. So now I'm going to press P. This is my spell book of the stuff I've already learned. Something I'm not really a fan of in the game at the moment is the run animation. I feel as though it needs a bit of work. It just doesn't feel right at the moment. This spooky bastard's coming in hot. And he's probably going to kill me. This guy's going ham. And I just got outplayed by a wolf. GG. These wolves are fucking relentless. Look at this guy. Die, wolf! Die, wolf! There it is. Right, I need some healing abilities. This wolf is just infinitely following me. I've been running for a good few minutes now and he's still on my ass. There probably needs to be a certain distance in this game where wolves stop chasing you. So let's fight Mr. Troll and I can give you a very, very rough idea of what combat they're going for. As you can see, Mr. Troll's attacking me and a telegraph's coming out of him. Obviously, don't stand in that or you take a bunch of damage. They're going to have an actual dodge function. It's not currently in the game, probably on the shift key or something like you get in most action combat MMOs. So it doesn't really work too well at the moment. Obviously the combat is miles off from being finished. But just as a rough idea, they're going for action combat where you're not pigeonholed into just playing one class. You can be multiple classes essentially. You just pick different abilities from different classes and you can change it up whenever you want. Right now I'm using Fireball, I can use my bow and arrow. The UI at the moment is very much placeholder. I've been told that's going to be reworked soon in the future. Another thing the game has is swimming mechanics, and apparently they want to have underwater exploration, which sounds quite exciting. When you dip your head under the water, you can see all the water droplets on the camera. Currently, I think it takes up a little bit too much of the screen. It's a little bit much, and I think they stay around for slightly too long. I think 2 or 3 seconds will be fine, but right now it's about 5 seconds. Wow! 2 wolves and a troll. Well, aren't I fucked? Run! Leave me alone! Troll! The troll doesn't have a fucking clue what's going on now. I think we've found a troll's biggest weakness. Water. I think the biggest thing I'm concerned about in this game is the combat system. Obviously, in an MMO, it's ridiculously important to have very fun combat, because that's what you're doing for like 99% of the game, killing things. Maybe a little bit less in this game because you've got the whole building aspect, but regardless, combat's really important, and I hope they fully flesh it out and make something that's really fun and impactful. Right now, the sound effects aren't quite there, the animations aren't there, and it really just doesn't feel anywhere near being finished, but that's to be expected at the moment. I'd be a little bit more worried if this game was more closer to being released. As you can probably tell, nighttime in this game is ridiculously dark, but I like how when you do abilities and stuff, it kind of lights up the area. I think it'd be really cool if, when the game actually launches, you could get torches and stuff and it would like light up the area, and you have to build bonfires and stuff. That'd be really cool just from an immersion point of view, I think. Because I'm an admin, I can go into free camera mode, so let's have some fun, shall we? There's my little building over there that I made. There's quite a lot of popping with the trees and the various details. It'd be nice if it just kind of faded out rather than popping like that. It's a little bit immersion breaking. Another thing I'd say is I don't think these plants and bushes and stuff really blend in very well with the world. They look a little bit unnatural. Their colours just don't seem quite right. And if you get a closer look at these bushes, they're actually 2D. Not really a big fan of those. These ones just kind of turn and face you whichever way you look at them. Kind of weird. Not really a huge fan of the bushes and plants and stuff. The actual trees themselves though look really nice. No complaints there. That's a technician ability. You can just put up turrets and stuff. What about this one? Beacon of Light. I'm guessing that heals you or people around you. So the technician's almost like a shaman. I've got a little spell effect for that. Can I take all my clothes off? Oh my god, my character is actually fully naked now. Wow. Looking good, bro. Alright, what's this do? Fire Nova. Oh nice, you can actually cast Fireball whilst moving. I like that. I like being able to cast abilities whilst moving. It's actually a lot more fun. Into the building. Dude, leave me alone, dude! Oh my god. He's in my house! Fucking hell! I can't escape this troll. This guy is relentless! Oh my god, what is happening, dude? One really crazy thing this game's apparently planning on adding is like an ecosystem within the game. So mobs can like level up, wolves can breed together and make more wolves. And in certain areas they're planning on having it so if you don't like kill enough wolves, then wolves can overrun the area. Let's see if this game has underwater combat. I don't know if it will. It seems like it does. It appears like it does have underwater combat, and my character is actually swimming whilst casting spells. Oh, fucking hell, dude! I wasn't expecting you to come into the lake. Oh my god. Oh, we found another player. Hello. He's probably really fucking spooked at the fact that I'm naked. This guy's like, dude, put some clothes on. A giant fucking beam tower, because why not? At long range, the building system's really good. There doesn't seem to be like a range on how far you can go. So I can just keep walking backwards and make the world's highest thing. Oh, actually, there is a range. It's just incredibly long range. Wow, you can actually build underwater in this game. That is fucking cool, dude. I could make myself a dock area if I wanted. There's nothing stopping me from just building a house in the middle of this lake. That's so cool that you can actually build on the lake. I really, really like that. This is going to be fun. I'm going to make like a balancing beam type thing. I suppose you could make stuff like jumping puzzles in this game with the building system. That'd be a lot of fun. I just feel like with the procedural generated world and the building system, which is already pretty good and is nowhere near finished, I see this game having a lot of potential. I could just imagine having infinite fun building things, honestly. Jump here! And splash. Okay, so just in case I've missed a few things, I just want to list off all the core features this game's going to have, as well as talk about the business model and development team. Currently, this game only has a 3-man development team and has been completely self-funded. Everything you've seen in this video has been made in the space of about 7 months, and after talking to one of the devs, it seems like going down the procedural generation route solves a lot of issues when it comes to world and dungeon design in this game. Due to this game being such an ambitious project, the devs are looking to employ more people and are raising funds for artwork and server costs. If this is a game you'd like to support, then please join the Forsaken Legends pre-launch. If 3 people have done so much in the space of 7 months, imagine how much they could do with a full team. When talking to one of the devs, I made sure to ask about the business model this game would have, as we've seen a lot of pay-to-win games recently, and I'd hate to see this game fall into the same trap. Luckily, the business model they're going for doesn't seem like it has any risk of being pay-to-win. All they want to charge is $9.99 per month to cover the server costs and stay away from microtransactions. If they can raise the money, they're also planning on self-publishing the game too, which would give them direct control over their product. Personally, I think this is a really good idea, and if they manage to build the game to its full potential, I'm sure people wouldn't have any issues in paying a monthly fee to play it and not have to deal with pay-to-win stuff. Forsaken Legends is planning on having a persistent world. This basically means the world continues to exist regardless of player interaction. So NPCs will evolve, level up, gather resources and find food. Monsters will roam around, level up, fight each other, attack towns and breed together. Basically, the goal is to make the world feel alive. The game's going to have a dynamic economy that's based on supply and demand. Players can sell stuff on the auction house, and NPC merchant prices are based on what they're in a low supply of at that time. The way the system's described reminds me a lot of Black Desert's trading system, which was an aspect of the game I really enjoyed. Obviously, as an MMORPG, the game will have professions such as blacksmithing, enchanting, fishing, cooking, skinning, and foraging. The goal with professions is to make sure they don't become obsolete like in other MMOs. When it comes to loot, Forsaken Legends is planning on making it procedural, very much like the world, so it's very much randomized stats. They are planning on allowing players to equip rune stones, which have a chance to dictate the stats on the gear though. Personally, I'm a little bit worried about the loot system because RNG can be quite frustrating in MMOs and doesn't appeal as much to Western audiences as they do Eastern, so I'm hoping they can design a good system here that's not too annoying. As I showed you earlier, base construction is a big part of this game, whether it's on your own or with a guild. But another cool idea the devs want to implement is a mode where guilds can take their constructed base into an instanced battle with other guilds or against waves of monsters to see how long they can last. I think this is a really good idea as it solves the issue of guilds only going to war with other guilds to have their base built close to theirs. Something a lot of you are probably wondering is, will this be a PvP or PvE game? And at the moment the answer is both. The plan is for the world to be split up into 4 quarters, 1 quarter for PvP, 1 for hardcore PvP where there's consequences for death, a PvE quarter and a hardcore PvE quarter where there'd be much more difficult monsters and your base could be destroyed if you didn't protect it with traps and turrets. PvP content will consist of guild sieges, open world PvP and possibly instanced PvP, whereas PvE content will consist of dungeons, raids, world bosses and defending your base against enemies as well as surviving the elements, which brings me on to my next point. Forsaken Legends is a game that's not just trying to be an MMORPG, but it wants to feel like a survival game too, allowing you to interact with the environment and keep your character healthy. I'm not too sure how much they want this game to resemble a survival game, but the dev I spoke to said they want to have the fun aspect of a survival game without too much of a resource grind. The final thing to mention at the moment is the game will have full guild support built in, so guild forums, guild ranks, voice chat with multiple channels, guild plots of land and guild banks. Overall, from what I've seen of this game so far, I'm really impressed with how much this small team of devs have accomplished in such a small amount of time, as well as the philosophy behind their design direction and proposed business model. I'd really love to see the MMO community get behind this game and show support, whether it's by joining the pre-launch, tweeting MMO websites and YouTubers to write an article or video for this game, or just by giving feedback on the game yourself. As this is a self-funded game, Forsaken Legends has next to no publicity and is a really unknown project. We're talking in the hundreds of views at this point. The developers have said they're in desperate need of feedback, and the people willing to test the game and give that feedback could change the outcome of the game if they have good ideas. So that's it for this video, guys. If you want to read more about Forsaken Legends, then I'll leave a link at the top of the description. And if you want to get in early and test the game, then join the pre-launch. I'll be keeping a close eye on this game as it gets further into development. And as always, please leave a comment below telling me what you think about it so far. I hope you enjoyed the video, you take it easy, and I'll see you again really soon. I'll save you, Grill. Job done. No worries, love. And she's just left. Like every other woman in my life. Oh god, this is buggy. What's going on here? Hello?